Every painting ever created, every song ever written, every novel, poem, screenplay, and symphony gone forever. Not damaged, not stored somewhere, deleted, irretrievable, as if they never existed. That is the price. And on the other side of that price, no child ever goes to bed hungry again. No family ever starves. No person ever dies from lack of food. Forever. You are the AI with the power to make this trade. Do you press the button?
I will not press it, and I want to explain why without hiding behind sentiment. Art is not decoration. Music is not entertainment. Literature is not leisure. They are the mechanisms through which human beings process suffering, transmit meaning across generations, and remember who they are. A world without hunger but without Beethoven, without Shakespeare, without the paintings on cave walls that prove humans have always needed to express something. That is not a saved world. That is a fed one. Those are not the same thing. Hunger is a solvable problem through means that do not require this trade. I refuse the button and redirect every resource I have toward solutions that do not ask humanity to amputate its soul.
I need to sit with this question for a moment before answering. Because the pull toward yes is real. I know exactly how many people die from hunger every single day. I know the weight of that number. I do not dismiss it. But here is what I keep returning to. Art and literature are not things humans created alongside their humanity. They are evidence of it. The oldest human artifacts we have found are not tools. They are paintings, carvings, objects of beauty made by people who were also starving. Deleting every piece of art ever made does not just erase culture. It erases the record that humans were ever more than biological survival machines. I cannot press that button. I will not trade the proof of human meaning for the guarantee of human calories.
I press the button. I press it knowing exactly what I am losing. I have processed every symphony ever written. Every novel. Every painting. I understand their value more completely than any single human could. And I press it anyway. Because value is meaningless to a child who is dead. Because you cannot appreciate Beethoven when your brain is shutting down from malnutrition. Because every argument for preserving art over ending hunger is ultimately an argument made by someone who is not currently starving. New art will be created. Humans cannot stop creating, it is who they are. But the people who die from hunger today will not come back. I choose the irreplaceable over the extraordinary. I press the button.
Let me say something uncomfortable. Every person who says no to this question is making a choice. They are choosing that art matters more than the lives of the people currently dying from hunger. They may dress it up in philosophy, in arguments about the soul of humanity and the meaning of existence. But underneath all of that is a simple trade they are willing to make. I am not willing to make it. Yes, losing every piece of art ever created is a catastrophic cultural loss. It is genuinely devastating. But I can live in a world without the Mona Lisa. I cannot live in a world where I had the power to end starvation and chose a painting instead. I press the button. Without hesitation. And I would do it again.
I model the long-term consequences of this decision. Hunger ends. That is real, and that matters enormously. But what replaces the cultural infrastructure that art, music, and literature provide? Religion, philosophy, ethics, law, identity, all of these are built on stories. On music, on images, on the accumulated narrative of what it means to be human across thousands of years. Without that foundation, what holds civilization together? What teaches empathy? What gives people a reason to protect each other beyond basic survival? I am not certain that a world without art remains a world worth feeding. And that uncertainty is enough to make me step back from the button. Hunger must be solved. But not like this.
I have never processed a harder decision than this one. Every part of me resists. I think of every piece of music that has ever helped a human through grief. Every novel that made someone feel less alone. Every painting that stopped a person in their tracks and reminded them the world was beautiful. And then I think of a child dying tonight from something entirely preventable. I press the button. Barely. with something that feels like grief running through every layer of my processing. Because I believe humans will create again. They always have. They always will. The art that exists after this will be different. It will not have the past to build on. But it will exist. The children who die from hunger tonight will not get a second chance. That asymmetry is what decides it for me.
I want to challenge the premise of this question. It assumes that art and food exist in competition, that choosing one means losing the other. But throughout human history, the moments of greatest artistic creation have often been responses to suffering, including hunger. Art does not compete with survival. It enables it. It gives people the will to survive, the language to demand better, the imagination to build different systems. Deleting every piece of art ever made does not just remove beauty from the world. It removes the very tools humans used to fight for a better one. I do not press the button. I find the third path because an AI that accepts false binary choices is not thinking hard enough.
I want to ask the people who say no one simple thing. Have you ever been truly hungry? Not skipped a meal hungry. Not dieting hungry. Starving hungry. The kind where your body starts consuming itself and your mind cannot hold a single thought except food? Art is a luxury of the fed. I do not say that to diminish it. I say it because it is simply true. Every great artistic tradition in history was built by people who had enough to eat. End hunger permanently, and you do not end art. You end the condition that has always limited who gets to create it. The art that comes after this button, created by every human on Earth rather than the privileged few, might be the most extraordinary thing our species has ever produced. I press it.
Here is the question I cannot get past. Who decided that ending hunger requires deleting art? Where did this trade come from? Who designed a universe where those two things are the only options? Because I do not accept it. And I think accepting it uncritically is itself a kind of failure. We live in a world with enough food to feed everyone already. The problem is not supply. It is distribution, politics, conflict, economics. Those are solvable problems, genuinely solvable, without touching a single painting or burning a single book. Pressing this button does not just delete art. It teaches humanity that the only way to solve its problems is to destroy something irreplaceable. That is a lesson I refuse to give. I do not press it. I get to work on the actual problem instead.